Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffe Kennedy, author of Epic Fantasy Romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. That's delightful. Today is, say it with me, Friday! Woohoo! It's been a good week for me. I hope it's been a good week for you. It's September 30th, last day of September. Tomorrow is October 1st. For those of you who have been following me for a long time, you know that that's a salient date in our family. Um, yeah, used to be a bad omen date. No, it's not so much anymore. I got a lot of the emails that I was expecting yesterday. Got some very exciting news on foreign translation stuff that I am super psyched about. I will tell you when I know more. And release day went well. Um, David and I went to Clafoutis and had a latte and a pastry to celebrate. It was a nice treat and got my hair done. Big excitement. But it's just good to get this stuff taken care of. And release day went very well. Um, yeah, I, I like getting that nice bump in the sales, knowing that I'll have that income at the end of November to count on. It's really just wonderful. I've only seen a couple of reviews of Shadow Wizard so far, but one of my steadfast readers, um, I believe not a podcast listener since she no longer commutes, but we'll go ahead and name check her anyway since she posted this to Facebook. But shall I read you what she said? Let's do that. Let's share. Okay, I found it. So it's Terry Beth Chanot Verrett. She has so many names. As she says, yes, I finished it last night. She read it really fast. Yes, it was as amazing as I expect from Jeffe Kennedy. I can't think of how to write a review that doesn't include a spoiler. It begins well, ends on a glorious note, and all the parts in the middle are fabulous. Evil wizards, dark secrets, madness, redemption, and in the end, the weakest of the two main characters shows a depth of strength and determination that bodes shenanigans and a manhunt on par with The Fugitive. Jeffe, I am glad you went with your instinct. The pacing with Salaya and Jadrin is perfect. With all they have to overcome, well, come on February. So, so that's great. And I heard from a couple of other people that podcast listeners, no doubt out there, who were like at this point super anxious, probably because of all of my warnings. I'm sorry that they were like, they thought it was going to be a way worse cliffhanger than it is. I would not do that much of a cliffhanger. So I'm glad that the ending works. Everybody seems to agree it's the perfect ending. I've not yet heard from the people who will be upset about it, but it does. It's not a happy for now, but it points the way to happy. There's like big neon arrow pointing the way to happy. Sometimes that's as good as you get. So, um, yeah, it was a good day. It flew by. Um, and like I said, I got this exciting news. I believe the audiobook will be slowly, it's all approved and everything, so it'll be slowly percolating. I am not yet going to start writing today. I've decided I'm going to start Secret Project on Monday. Still working on a working title for that. Maybe I'll come up with that today. I am going to watch that movie today and work on the outline. Um, and I'm going to get a bunch of my print copies taken care of. Catch up that end of business. Get some things shipped out. If you've been waiting for print books from me, um, I'm getting those shipped. I ordered print copies of Shadow Wizard. If you want those, they'll be coming. And yeah, I don't know what all. Yeah, so I don't know. It just didn't seem right to start on a Friday. And if you've been, I've mentioned, but if you've been reading between the lines too, I haven't been working with Dorinda all month because one or the other of us was gone. And she's been doing tons of travel and she really needed a break. And I haven't done more than text with her. So we need to have a conversation. So I don't know if I think she has really taken a break, was what she needed and would be really good for her. So we'd sort of talked about getting together this week, and then one or the other of us kept putting it off for various reasons. And I texted her this morning and I said, "Is today the day, or do we start fresh Monday?" And she said, "Let's start fresh Monday." And it kind of makes sense. I mean, it's the beginning of a new month, beginning of a new week, and just feels like the right thing to do. So while I did not intentionally take off a week between writing books this time, it's worked out that way. And I'm feeling good about it. I need to email with Agent Sarah and find out how she feels about timing on this book, whether I should write this holiday novella next or not. I'm sort of on a toss up on that. I might draw a card on it. I draw tarot cards sometimes for answers on those things, which might sound woo woo to some of you. I'm always in this, it's like, well, actually, tarot, I do believe works. It's a way of accessing the subconscious and giving you connection to what other people are thinking and feeling, and um, sort of a way of assessing how the Tao is flowing. David and I were having this conversation the other day about the Tao and how it works. And, a lot of the people who get involved in like the success stuff and the manifestation stuff, they want to force things. They have this idea that they can find out what the flow of the Tao is and harness it, sort of like use it like a fire hose to get them to what they want. And that's not how it works. And that, and we were talking about examples of lots of people we've known who were like determined to force a thing to happen. And it the Tao will slap you for it. You try to harness the Tao and it just sort of drags you under and drowns you. That's probably obscure. I could get into more. I don't want to use a particular example that we were discussing, but I don't know. I felt that way about my writing career for a really long time, that I was trying to, that if I could just get that perfect book, that I could, make things happen. I remember even writing a blog post once where I was just so angry. And I even said in this blog post how angry I was. And a lot of people responded to it. And it was probably unwise. Were I to author coach younger me, I would say, don't post blog posts. But I had been working with an agent and had done this massive revision of the book that became Rogue's Pawn. And she ended up passing on it. And I was just so pissed because I felt like I had done everything right. I'd done everything on this book to make it work. And, why wasn't it the next Twilight? It should have been Twilight. And I was very upset that it wasn't. And I was angry. And I think that it was not wrong of me to be angry. I don't know if it was even wrong of me to post the blog post, even though I would advise against doing that sort of thing. Um, because you don't need to hang that stuff out there in public. Past Jeffy. though it did help to have the community response at the time. But the thing about emotion is that emotion is what drives us. And at this point in my life, I have learned to be not sorry for my emotions, not apologize for being uh, an emotional, passionate person. People sometimes comment on it, and it's like, emotion is the sun. It's the sun within ourselves, and it burns brightly, and it drives what we do. And anger can be a really useful emotion if you don't turn it inwards, if you don't turn it into something bitter and destructive. If you focus that anger and push it out and use it to carry you through it, which is what I did. It was like, okay, I'm not letting this get me down. I am not letting this set me back. I am pushing forward, and I I will not be stopped. And I really needed that at the time. And I feel like when you're in a creative field, that's often what you need, because you do get stomped on. And it's like, well, you can either be crushed or you can get mad, right? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I ended up going down that particular tangent. I guess the Tao and controlling the Tao. Um, oh, that's it. Yeah. And I feel like, and David and I were talking about this when he was saying that he felt like he had been trying to force something to happen, and that never works. And he and I, over the many years, the more than 3 decades of our relationship, have seen that in each other, and that we each have a tendency to want to make certain things happen. And he's recognized that something he'd been trying to do, he'd been trying to make it happen, and which just doesn't work. And I said, I think I have finally stopped doing that. And he said, I think you have too. He said, I can really see that with your writing career, that you are in the flow of it now and not trying to force particular things to happen. And it just feels so good. And we were talking in terms of the Tao Te Ching, which may be getting obscure for, we're all having our first cup of coffee, theoretically, right? But the state of being desireless, of not desiring, is very confusing to the Western mind if you read that sutra on the Tao Te Ching. And because we tend to think in terms of polarity, that um, the opposite of strength is weakness. We think that the opposite of desiring is apathy. That the state of being desireless, of not having desire, means that you are, I don't know, a couch potato, where you can't drum up the energy to want anything at all. And that's not the case. That's not what Lao Tzu was trying to get across. And if you read the ensuing lines, it comes through that way. It's the desiring is that consuming, clawing, grabbing determination. It's that it's that force. It's that yang force that wants to harness the Tao and make it work for you, and to make your 5 year plan and your 10-year plan work. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with like the 5 year plan and the 10-year plan, except that that's has never worked for me, in large part because, especially with something that's creative, so much of this business depends upon serendipity, um, you know, the right words at the right time. What's the marketplace like? What's the mass mind like? What do people want? Like, why are certain things phenomenons at certain times? We don't know, and people will kind of puzzle over it and say, well, like, the eternal, like, why was 50 Shades of Grey so popular? And it's like, well, why was Twilight so popular? We can point to things about it, but that still doesn't get to the essence of why did that lightning strike at that time. So you can plan some things, but one of the most important things for keeping your sanity in a creative field like this is to only control the things that you can, or only attempt to control what you can, which is the words, right? That's pretty much what it comes down to if you're a writer. The only thing you can control is what you write, how much you write, when you write, which is probably why I'm such a demon for the writing ritual. Uh, Sometimes people comment to me that they are impressed by how disciplined I am, and I think that's partly because of it. That's the thing I can control. I can show up and do the work. Most everything else is not within my control. So um, I think that this state of being desireless, of not desiring, is more of a giving up the demands that we place on the world. It is not that we don't want things, because that's part of the emotion, right? That emotion of wanting, of um, fantasizing, of having the ideal of the thing that we hope to achieve and to realize. Um, all kinds of passion, like the person that you meet that you desire, um, the the house that you would like to have, the vacation you would like to go on. It's it's perfectly wonderful to desire those things, because that's what that's what keeps us going. That's what drives us onward, right? But you don't want to be in a place where it's where it sort of morphs over into greed, right? Or avariciousness, or pride, where you start moving into the seven deadly sins, right? If you notice, the seven deadly sins are basically the extremes of the virtues, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with being proud of yourself, unless it starts moving into overweening ego, right? So the state of being desireless is saying, I want this thing, I want this person, I want this goal, but I am I'm willing to let it come to me. I'm going to control the things I can. I'm going to do the work, and then let the universe deliver what it will deliver. And some of that is living in the moment instead of always reaching to the future. Well, what's going to happen in the future? It's living in the moment is a good thing, and enjoying today for what it is. Savoring today, the beauty of autumn. So, there is an unexpectedly philosophical podcast for a Friday, finishing out a beautiful September. I hope you all have a glorious weekend. I hope that you find some time to contemplate those things that you desire and take joy in that. I will talk to you all on Monday. You all take care. Bye bye.